YouTube is definitely really weird with how it wants to start streams nowadays. Oh, whatever. Coffee time. Come on, move. He doesn't like to move. But oh well, not my problem. Well, until it becomes a problem. I was being a lazy boy today. He's finding like any corner in any little spot, to fucking hide himself in. Did you get my message? Oh, from yesterday? Yeah. I just forgot to respond because I ended up eating some food and then pretty much immediately taking a fat nap after that. Then I woke up at 3 in the morning and I was like, shit. Well, I'm awake. Fuck. I ended up going to bed at 8 or something. Yeah, after I ate some food and chilled. Make sure you got it. Yeah. No, that's all good. I mean, it's just one of my buddies, and, even before he kind of, started talking about some of his politics shit, he, immediately, kind of prefaced saying, I don't know nothing about because I don't pay attention to it. I'm just like, that's why I don't really get too, whatever about it, It's not like, the dude's actively, listening to shit or whatever the fuck like I am, right? So, I guarantee you, if I, asked him who Ben Shapiro was, he wouldn't fucking know who he is. Biz boss pays attention to politics. Biz landlord is too. I know. And his friends are too. I mean, yeah, ultimately I can't force someone to get into it or to pay attention to it. And by the way, his landlord would technically be me. At least for now. Get this loaded up. There we go. Chili. It's a little nippy, I tell ya. Being in politics, self-defense measure. Being into it, well, not for a lot of people. I mean, frankly, honestly, ironically enough, a lot of the things that the government does, especially when it comes to trying to ban TikTok and shit, is what gets people kind of somewhat into politics. Now, funny enough, whether people actually get it or go the right way, so to speak, that's a whole different story. But there's a lot of different things where people end up kind of getting into it just because the government kind of radicalizes people with that shit. And the thing is, a government or a nation state is not obligated or entitled to a de-radicalized populace. If a populace feels radicalized against their government for whatever fucking reason, then the government itself and the state itself needs to take some fucking self-reflection. And of course, ours ain't gonna do that shit. It's literally gonna double down, triple down, and just say, you're gonna like your gruel and you're gonna take it kind of shit. But that ain't gonna be happening forever. And even to people that, might have some right-leaning position and shit, usually most of the time they don't really actually truly believe in that shit. They just think so because of what people have told them in the past or of what others might have informed them with and shit. I download Red Note. And boy, the names don't like the American invasion. I've heard the total opposite. I'm hearing a lot of how there's different people on that platform that are actually really nice. You can actually have back and forths. Content isn't literal brain rot and shit. There's a whole weird emphasis on actually being a social media platform. And frankly, I'm fine with it. And you know what? There's some people that don't like, the American invasion. Well, maybe China should probably start, harping on America's ass a little bit. But oh no, all the Republicans and conservatives are going to hate that because China's going to take over, yeah, whatever the fuck. But you know what? I don't care. These platforms have, like they're private entities and shit, and governments want to, hey! And if government wants to take like, some sort of a direct onus or like control in one way or another on that type of shit, then, two can play that game. What, do you think America's going to be the only fucking state to do that shit? They're not the first, nor they're going to be the last. So, honestly, I'm kind of weirdly enough okay with it. Not the ban itself, but just like, people kind of being like, well, fuck this. We're going to go to other platforms. And if anything, doing an extra fuck you to the United States and the American government directly by going to a Chinese-based fucking app that is doing the exact same shit that Twitter, Facebook, and all these other social media platforms do. That's the thing about, like, what, especially the American government's like, kind of all, like, poshed about is, people moving over to Red Note and stuff. And the main reason why is because most people are not stupid. We know that our data is constantly being bought and sold all the time, especially by, like, these different private corporations to the government and governments. If anything, we're just cutting the middleman out by going to Red Note. So, who gives a shit? I mean, like, that ship sailed a long time ago. There ain't no fucking stopping that bullshit unless we literally abolished all these platforms and restarted these platforms and, like, had different, companies operating that shit. Because you think Twitter, or I guess Meta, all these, platforms, do you really think they're going to stop buying and selling data? Even if they legally were required to, they are still going to do it behind their fucking back. They're going to be doing it behind the back of the state, too, because state, will fucking more than be happy to fucking buy and, sell that shit. Does it all the time. Just on the virtue of monitoring, shit, but also on the virtue of buying and selling you shit. It's like, hey, we might, want to, like, purchase these subscriptions that you want, or maybe you want to, like, look at something that the algorithm, is going to be, catering towards, that you might be interested in. Like, there's a whole reason for it, but also it's just for basic fucking surveillance. I mean, it's for a lot of fucking factors, and either way, I mean, it's just one of those things where, like, what difference does it fucking make that, you have Binance or TikTok doing it, or Red Note, or Twitter, or Facebook? There's no fucking difference. The main factor is that, Red Note and Binance is, foreign platforms, that are in America versus, fucking, American based, like with Meta or Twitter. And even Twitter isn't American based anymore. It's now South African because of fucking Elon Musk, the shadow government little bitch boy, who's having a drama fest before he's officially going to be taking, office, so to speak. Let's just be fucking frank here. And like, it's having a whole bitch fit. If Asmongold, no less. Out of all people. It's like, oh my God, what a little fucking bitch. I want to say something else, but, well, who do I give a fuck? Elon's a faggot. There we go. Yeah, I don't even care. So, you know what? Fuck him. A little insecure billionaire bitch boy faggot. There you go. I don't give a shit, because that's who he is. And besides, I like to suck dick and bi, so fuck off. I could say that. I got the pass. Fucking worthless little goddamn reject. And he's the 90s era of that too, by the way. Like, straight up, like, he's like 90s era. He's not even just like, queer coded. He literally just is 90s coded, like, hey, what's up, dude? That's literally Elon. Like, I would bully him immensely like that if, I was in middle school back in the day. He'll be on the lower end of the totem pole when it comes to that shit. The main difference, here is that he has fuck you money to buy himself to the top of the pole. But even then, everyone at the bottom just fucks on him anyway. It's just like a reverse totem pole. Elon's a twat. Of course he is. And is like kind of half partially running the gov now. And to an extent, like especially with his little back and forth with Trump. And even then, it's one of those things where it's just like, they've been clashing back and forth a little bit. You notice that those two have been somewhat distant lately, not as close, in comparison in the past. After the election shit, sounds like they're not really as keen as being buddy buddy with each other like they used to. Sounds like little mushroom dick and then little South African slave driver dick don't like to clash too much together. The sword fighting got a little too intense, one would say. Well, more like a tiny little baby club and then, potentially a sword. Doubt it, but, well, I'll at least give it benefit of doubt to Musk a little bit. Just a little. My fucking nose. Do I have a napkin around here? I do not have my paper towels. Fuck. I do not have paper towels here. I'm feeling like a triplet, like right here, one to like unleash, and I do not like that. It's driving me nuts. I was the kid, the bully kids would bully. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said middle school specifically, because like that was like the era of school where I was bullied and shit. Well, freshman year, then after that, I think at that point, because I was in, band, because at least in my school, arts were somewhat, kind of a thing, and a lot of even like the cool kids were like in a lot of these classes too. So eventually I kind of blended in. I was able to blend in and, people were just like, oh, yeah, just kind of quiet kid, but he's cool. So, but yeah, like my ass would be doing that shit. And in fact, I know I did. Like, I mean, there was kids that, like where we like bullied back and forth to each other just because we're like on equal playing field, so to speak. But neither would want to fucking like, be put to heel or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I concede. It's like neither of us would. But no, Neilon, he would. That little bitch, after he got shoved in the locker one too many times, will just start crying to like, fucking administration and stuff. And of course, I'd probably get suspended or something. But that's just how he is, because he's a little fucking narc and a little bitch boy. He just wants to get what he wants. That's it. And not even like cool shit either, by the way. It's not like, oh, let me build a castle. Let me live in knots. At least like J.K. Rowling, has something cool, a castle. At least she could fuck off over there, but not even Elon does that shit. It's like, come on. And JK's a cunt, but, fuck, at least she does something kind of cool for money. She has a castle, whatever. It's bougie and fucking extravagant, but who cares? At least if I have fuck you money like that, you can't tell me I want to, try to get a castle. Of course I would. That'd be dope, honestly. That'd be like my pad. Be like, this used to be the dungeons. Now it's a sex dungeon. This is the mess hall. It's now a gigantic gamer bro hall, and there's like pinballs down there, pinball machines. Got like a few pool tables here. You got like a game center with video games to your heart's content in this end. It's like I'd be doing shit like that. I'd just make it like a fucking gigantic, like literal like man castle. Just like a bro castle kind of thing. Because you can't tell me that wouldn't be cool. Honestly, that should be a business. Like, someone just like literally constructs a castle like somewhere and then just literally makes it like a game center, for shit like that. That'd be kind of cool. Too bad. Basically, you won't find them in Europe. Unless you made like, a new one. I was spending emphasis was victim, but really people did because it would get caught spying on people, taking shit. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, for real. He would be that fucking freak, wouldn't he? Oh, he totally would. Because, like, especially with his weird shit about, like, the Wi-Fi virus. I lost my son. Epsilon SpaceX Rocket Booster 5. Dash 4. Betamax 3. I lost my son. I lost my son to the Wi-Fi virus. He's always like that. So, of course, he's going to be hyper like, ooh, what's the genitals look like? He's going to be like, especially if he has like a crush on somebody or some shit. Oh, dude, he totally fucking will. That's such a fucking creep, man. If somebody uses like thumbnails, like lately, especially with this stupid gaming drama out of all things, because he faked, his, like leaderboard shit or whatever. That is just the most stupidest middle school level shit, like, ever. and the guy is quite literally going to be quite like on the top of like aspects of things when it comes to government. Like I honestly dead ass believe this motherfucker is going to try to shadow government this shit, and Trump's literally just a figurehead. Like I swear to fuck, that is pretty much just what's happening. I'm kind of joking, but at the same time, I'm not, because I mean, these rich billionaire fucks, they already kind of run shit as it is. It's just the difference is that Elon is loud about it. That's the difference. Because I mean, these politicians really go back and forth. Like some of them used to be like CEOs and shareholders, or they retire from being a politician and then go into that shit. I mean, it's really just like a fucking bed of worms, that they all get themselves into. So it's just like I said, Musk is just a loudmouth about it. You lost your son when you named it whatever that was. I seriously. Well, that's actually the other kid. Like that's his newborn kid. I'm talking about his trans daughter with that one. So I mean, I'm just making a joke because he's just such a freak. Because who names their kid after a math equation if it is even a math equation? Like I don't even know what the fuck it's supposed to be. Or how do you even pronounce it? Like, I don't even think it's pronounceable. Wouldn't it just be cool if I named my new son Epsilon square root of pi to the power of the fourth Epsilon gamma ray dash 4 5. I have a new son that won't be lost to the walk my verse. Oh, yeah, that guy's a freak, dude. I didn't even think I would just end up starting to like going on about him right now for like the last 10 minutes. Well, who cares? It's kind of fun to just shit on him anyway. I mean, like I'm just kind of curious, honestly, like when the relationship's gonna end, so to speak, between him and Trump. Because like it's like this whole shadow government thing. That's why partially I'm joking about that too, because like it ain't gonna last forever. Like eventually Trump's gonna be like, all right, fuck off. I'm done with you. I'm actually supposed to be the one running shit, not you, bitch. We had a deal, but you broke the deal. And frankly, I prefer doing Trump impersonations more than not. So if I had to choose between two billionaire fuckboys, to do impersonation with, I'd rather do Trump's. These are more fun to do. Plus, I already have experience doing that from the first 4 fucking years. I have a child and I shall name him pound sign. $8 sign, $, 2 Batman symbols, and a pound? Is that that's not a euro? That's a pound, isn't it? I think. There's a lot of pound signs in that name. Oh god. I sort of. If he has another kid and that happens, I don't even know. I'm gonna be convinced that he's either an android or an alien, or both, like an alien android. And symbol. Oh, I didn't even notice. I have a tiny little crack like right near that chest, so sometimes it gets hard to read certain things just because it ends up being perfectly like a line of it. It's like, god damn it. But oh my god. I should name him hashtag and $, two Batman symbols and a pound to the square root of 5th. Okay, I'm good. I'm getting napkin. This is driving me nuts. Ah, my nose. God damn it. Son of a bitch. Stick off, you little goof. Ugh. Son of a bitch. Good lord. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Just put that there. Ugh. Just in case I needed this. Goddamn. I think most celebrity names for our kids are fucking stupid, but at least you can pronounce some shit like North. Well, yeah. I mean, at least, like, frankly, most time, like, celebrities just actually will normally have, like, just regular names, for their kids, for the most part. But they might want to try to be snazzy and be like, oh, let me bring back, like, Agatha or something, or whatever the fuck. But, I mean, most of the time, it's usually just kind of like, just generic names. But then you just get those fucking weirdos like Elon that just want to be a little extra special. God damn. Oregon Air Force National Guard is fucking worn out tonight. What the hell? I wonder why they're doing a bunch of test flights. I will admit, it has been a minute since I've been hearing those motherfuckers flying out. Yeah, nice. Really, only one? Usually there's like 2, 3, or 4 of them. Usually they're in pairs of like 2 or 4. That sounded like there was only one. Oh, no, there's the other one. Probably doing like radar training or something if they're that far apart. I just kind of find it amusing that, like, even after all these years, we're still fucking flying F-15s and shit. Because those things are so fucking old. I mean, those things have been in service for quite a long time, and I'm surprised that, we frankly still use them. You would think we just mass produce F-22s and shit. You get to rename Elon's baby, who will grow up to hate him, by the way, and steal all of his money. What are you picking? Yeah. If you choose something good, he'll repay you several $1 billion. Hear me out, Robin. You want to know why? Because then, he could just literally be nicknamed the modern day Robin Hood. Quite literally, because his name would be Robin. Because then he'd be Robin Musk. See? So we'll play on words with that. And plus, people will be like, hashtag Robin Hood strikes again or some shit, like fucking on his dad and stuff. So I don't know, like, there's social media, like, meme material and potentiality with that. Biggest interest is name Musk is because nothing sounds good next to it. Just some other last name. I mean, Strand's daughter doesn't have the same last name anymore. She changed it. So I'd say, just whatever the fuck the kid wants, I suppose, at that point. I ain't going to choose the last name. I'll just choose the first. But he could just, after that, I'd just say whatever. Like whatever, fits your heart's content. Because there definitely could be, some names that can all fit with that. Actually, now I am kind of thinking about that. I have like some ideas of what actually wouldn't be too bad, but I mean the thing is like there could be a lot of different options too. I think because I was thinking of like something like Robin Stone or some shit, and that sounds like just a little like huh, but I'm thinking Stone like cause also another thing rock. What's good, like what's a fun thing you could do with rock? Bash a motherfucker with a rock. So, it's like, Robin, as for Robin Hood and using rocks to just, bash a motherfucker, and stuff. So, I don't know. Robin works and the kid could take mom's maiden name instead. Ah, yeah, that's true. Or if there's like some obscure cool uncle that we're not aware about, maybe that could be a thing. Like use the last name of some random obscure cool uncle that kind of quietly changed his name. It's like I don't want anything to do with this guy. Good, kind of quietly changed my name. Maybe like I would say like a grandparent, maybe, but Elon's grandparent or Elon's parents also suck ass, and his mama is also just a little like overprotective, creepy freaking bitch. Anyway, so I don't see how fuck her too. I mean, she literally like made like she had to protect her son from a little fucking MMA fight between Zuckerberg, which the last time I saw him was pretty recently over him basically just sucking Trump's dick now, and even that motherfucker, I'm actually surprised. Like the dude is kind of like oh shit, this guy kind of got jacked. Like what the fuck? So like he kind of grew his hair out a little bit, kind of jacked up a little bit. And I'm like, what the fuck? He actually looks like a human being. He went from literally looking like an android to being like a human being now. I'm just like, whoa. So I guess it could be Robin Grimes, which is kind of Walking Dead-ish. Yeah, I was thinking that actually. Yeah, you're right, because his mom's last name is Grimes, so well, people do like Rick Grimes in The Walking Dead, so... That would work, honestly. Though that would just basically mean The Walking Dead just kind of continues to be alive, but... Maybe for now a good reason. You know how many spin-offs of that show have been happening lately that I haven't paid attention to that show in a long time, but then I found out they have another spin-off with like the Book of Carol, from the old lady that from that show, and with Daryl. But they're in fucking France now. And I'm just like, how in the fuck did they get there? I'm like, what did I miss? And how? It's like, what? Fucking France? I'm like, okay. That is just random. I don't know what I miss, for those two to get over there from, what, fucking, like, Georgia or some shit? It's like, what? I get you can find boats and stuff, but, I mean... It's so weird. I don't even understand why. I know there has to be some random fucking, plot to it, but still, it's just like... It's confusing. That show has gone on for too long, and it needs to just stop. It just needs to stop. Look, if they wanted to be in France with The Walking Dead, why did they have to have those two there? Just have a new set of characters. Either way, whatever. It's just a total aside, but still, like, what the fuck? Because it just really honestly doesn't make that much sense. But then again, Hollywood doesn't really have much when it comes to being rational or making sense. We can go vote. pronunciation. Gregory Grimes. Gregory Grimes. Gregory. Gregory sounds posh. It sounds too posh. Yeah, I heard they purposely kill the child characters so they can get out paying the actors. That too. Like with Carl, like everyone was mad pissed off that when he was killed off, because it totally deviates away from any fucking like anything related to the actual like Walking Dead comics themselves. And also, I mean, even if they wanted to diverge away, it literally is just over some scummy executive practice more than anything. I guess then it does helps expand the Michonne love arc between the two, which that was already happening because they they were writing it so Michonne also would was kind of like a stepmom to Carl essentially. But then what else? And then there's like obviously just a love arc that I guess is still going on with that. I think. I don't fucking know. I don't know what's been going on with that show for a long time. I also have like random YouTube shorts because this stuff does pop up on my shorts, so I do kind of fill the gaps a little bit from when from when I fell off of it to now. But like some of these new spin-offs, like a few years in the future, where it's like fucking. I will say, Michonne looks kind of badass, looking like she's a, like a wasteland samurai or something. And she had a cool little friend too, but then just dies pretty much in one episode. I'm just like, oh, we get introduced to this cool little badass guy, a little person who has like these cool little fucking like rockets or some shit that he makeshift and made, and then you just kill him off within like 5 minutes. It's like, what the fuck? Like that guy would have been so cool. It's like, son of a bitch. I also have no idea how I feel about that CRM arc too that they got going on. I get the idea if it meant to be like the remnants of the government, but it's like they seem way too like, I don't know. It just doesn't fit right necessarily. I do find it funny that supposedly Portland is one of like the 3 cities that they have control of. That, and I think it's like Denver and then Pittsburgh, which I kind of find hilarious that out of all the West Coast cities, it's Portland. It's like, okay. Which makes it seem like, why not explore some other shit? See, honestly, The Walking Dead could have had some pretty cool spin-offs if they actually, like, I don't know, explored that shit without just keeping the same fucking characters. Like, I mean, I get the, love and adoration for those characters and stuff. I mean, sure, but I mean, it's, you gotta let something just be, like let it have its, last moment and call it good and, do something different with it. Like, idea of having like Daryl Dixon and like Carol going to fucking like France. I don't know. That just seems strange. At least to me, it doesn't exactly make that much sense. I'll say. I mean, I still have like a little soft spot for Walking Dead, but at least when it comes to the shows, I'm definitely been done with those for a long time, but now especially. And that, and also, like if we're gonna have like some cool, like kind of apocalyptic kind of style stuff, let's change it up. We got 28 years later and shit. I mean, I'm down for that, but after that, it's like, all right. What's some other cool wasteland shit that isn't like fucking zombies? It's kind of why I like The Hunter a little bit, because it kind of blended, like the sci-fi shit and the kind of like wasteland apocalyptic shit without it like, necessarily like overtly ripping off other shit. Like it just kind of like, at least he was doing its own thing uniquely. So I mean, it's like I'd rather like try to see more shit like that. Sci-fi stuff, different, like kind of like post-apocalypse stuff, but in a sense that at least was just different in comparison to just like zombies, fungal infection, or something like cordyceps or whatever, The Last of Us, or fucking like a mass virus and blah, blah, blah. It's like, let's change it up a little bit. And maybe it's just me because like we're already going through like mass virus bullshit anyway, of bird flu and COVID 5 years ago. It's like, I mean, I've had my fill with that. I've had my fill of like viral wasteland shit. I'm ready for like something different. Because I ain't trying to be dealing with that kind of shit. Ooh. Here we go. Yeah, that goofy dog. That goofy being of a dog. And coffee. Son of a bitch. Shit. Well, at least I had coffee. Yeah, damn it. I'm out of my coffee. It makes me sad. It makes me sad. Gregory, but everyone calls him Greg. Oh, if like Gregory Grimes. I don't know. It's even with Greg. That sounds just way too generic. You never really hear people called Robin anymore, like so. I'm sticking with it, Robin Grimes. I don't care if it is kind of Walking Dead-ish and cause a whole side tangent about The Walking Dead. I mean, honestly, that's another reason why I think the name works too. It's kind of like a double thing. It's like kind of sounds similar to Rick, but also there's Robin Hood too. Though especially considering people's animosity towards rich people more than ever lately, I have a feeling that more people would probably tie it in towards Robin Hood more so than anything else. Because I mean, even for our own entertainment, and shit and distractions, it's getting more expensive to even have that shit. So it's like we can't even enjoy the Rick Grimes Walking Dead, shit if we can't even like watch it. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, if honestly, I do wonder when like a shift is kind of happening and stuff. Because I've been seeing like every now and then, at least on Paul streams, so people pop in and be like, in 2026. Some shit's going down, or like 2025 on this date, something's going down. Like it's like kind of borderline like Nostradamus-esque ass like kind of like predictions and shit. I'm just like, what in the fuck? Like, people are just wanting something, to kind of pop. I think, but everyone's now just trying to shoot for a fucking date and just like see if like someone gets it right, somewhat close. Be like, see, I knew some shit was going down. Which the thing is, like, especially this year, I mean, I think literally every fucking day and every week some shit's going down. Okay, like, I mean, you can't set a date to when shit just kind of, because everything's already kind of going. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think that's just predictable. Dog, why do you always have to hang out in there? Sometimes it really does annoy me. It's like, come on, dog. We heard right now, aka shows more now with the words Hong and Shu. Wait, what? Shows more like now with the words Hong and Shu. Well, I know about Red Note. It's like the Chinese version of TikTok, basically. which also became like the most number one downloaded social media app like since this whole like TikTok ban big fiasco and shit. Which to me, I'm just kind of like based, just because like honestly, I mean, I kind of want to check it out too, because if it's basically just like a copy paste of just TikTok basically, then honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if frankly, like algorithmically, it's even better. I have to count there now. Sweet. Well, between Blue Sky and Red now I got two platforms to check out. Zip. Just bullshitting, chit-chattings. Finished my coffee, and even though I still want coffee. So I'm sad. I have no coffee. So pretty much a member of the Chinese Communist Party. Have you ever or now concurrently been a member of the Chinese Communist Party? Have you committed anti-American acts? You know what's funny, especially with this whole TikTok thing, there's been like, like even other people that are like, somehow, like I've never had a TikTok, never used it, don't even really know what the fuck it is, and I still hate America. Does that mean somehow I was influenced by TikTok and shit? I'm just like, well, hey, the whole reason why that ban's happening in the first place is still just because the government doesn't give a fuck about like when it comes to laws and shit anymore. Well, nor did it really ever. So, but especially when it comes to this, like being like, yeah, let's just do some like anti-First Amendment, just crackdowns on shit, because we're pretty much like an authoritarian oligarchy and autocratic state, so might as well just kind of just cut some of this bullshit, middleman stuff like these laws and shit. I guess we'll still have to keep it on paper, but the biggest problem is they used to make it more international. Yeah. And, which, hey, I mean, I think at this point now it's going to, a little bit more. So, I mean, hey, it kind of helps, boost up that platform. And also TikTok will be fine just because it doesn't have the American, audience and shit anymore. Like, cause that is also, like that's an international app, as well. So there's a lot of people from like Canada, Mexico, all over the world that, still use TikTok and shit. So if anything, especially with what like Meta's been doing, like, some of these, people on these platforms, mostly on TikTok are basically just saying like, if TikTok's going down, someone else ought to go down with them, because fuck this, so they're all, kind of doing a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like, hey, boycott Meta, because fuck them too. Which, yeah, fuck them too. So, especially after what, like, Zuckerberg's been doing. It's like hard to put a specific genre of music in a video when it's like 90% Chinese. Also, I don't know how strict you are with copyright. I don't know. Not sure. I guess that would be something I can explore too. And I mean, the thing is, I would have to be, like, let's say I do some streams there, I'll definitely have to be very extra careful about certain things. Like, obviously, I won't be able to do this. But the thing is also just going to be a lot of people from TikTok that are just going to move over there, but they're also going to come here too. And frankly, I think they're going to like a little bit more of the libertine-ish elements of like YouTube and shit over here, despite YouTube's broken shenanigans as well. I mean, because, they don't care as much about certain things outside of, like, copyright. But even then, it just kind of depends. Because there's, like, a fuckload of songs on YouTube Shorts already as it is that people use in the background constantly and still get monetized and shit like that anyway, so. Hopefully, at least Redno probably, will do an update to be just like have some auto translator or something like that, because I think that would actually be, pretty nice. But, hey, I guess, if I have to like learn some languages on Duolingo, I guess in order it'd probably be Spanish, Mandarin, and then German. Because honestly, I do like I've been watching a few like German content creators lately, and been kind of specifically like watching the more like their German videos, and I'm starting to kind of pick up a little bit on that too. But it's actually kind of easier just because all in all, like, I mean, there's a lot of like the English language and German. There's pretty decent overlap, or at least very similar. A lot of common similarities. I know for I know it has streaming. Oh well, if not, then hey, don't have to worry about it. As soon as that ban happens, is TikTok going to be unusable because we can still browse on there and as a backdoor to access updates? Might be a backdoor, maybe. I don't know. I'm assuming it probably would be unusable, but I have no idea. Bet Tumblr is kicking themselves for taking away streaming. They could reinstate it. I mean, it's like I wouldn't see a problem if like if I was like on that platform, be like, hey, let's do an update where it's like, hey, we are enabling streaming. I mean, granted, it'll probably be a little late to the party, but who knows? Frankly, they should just kind of reinstate it back how like it was in its peak. Yeah, I get it. There was probably a lot of like weird porn shit and stuff like that, but frankly, who gives a fuck? It's like just have a little bit more stricter rules around it, but nonetheless, at least allow it. Because then, ultimately, at that point, you can at least kind of dictate what is allowed. It's like hey, we'll allow it, but you can't have like X, Y, or Z because it's like too extreme or whatever. You know what I mean? Like so. That's what I would think. Would probably be a good idea. All in all. Because a lot of platforms do that anyway. Like, I mean, Pornhub does. Like, they don't allow, like, the most extremist of, kinks and shit on there. They do allow a lot, but, there's a lot of things that are just like, no. It's like, you're not, no. You missed your chance when Elon Musk took Twitter, Tumblr. Here's another chance. Be the new TikTok. I mean, why not? I know they won't because they're stupid. Unfortunately. This is what happens when over enough time, billionaires and millionaires and CEOs become Nepo babies to the point where their shit just doesn't make sense and they're fucking stupid. And they don't do cool stuff and good things to their platform or their money. Damn. Jesus. That was a lot. Fucking hell. There we go. Fucking hell. Ugh. Jesus. Okay. We're all good here. We're all good here. Dios mío. And my nose still feels all clogged. What the fuck? That's annoying. My nose is exceptionally stuffy. It's probably because I was like moving a bunch of branches of shit earlier. Transferring a lot of my broken down wood and stuff from, clearing out the trees and shit on the roof and stuff. That's probably it. Just all the pollen and all that bullshit. So now it's all like all the dust and all that shit. Capitalists, you're supposed to be capitalizing. So capitalize. I know. I mean, it's like, that's kind of what it usually used to mean back in like the early stages of capitalism. That's literally what it was kind of all about. Now it's at a point to where it's just like, it's mostly about like the stocks and the shares, and the interest of shareholders more than like, broader actual profit. But I mean, that's, the major component to it. Like they go hand in hand. So, I mean, it's literally just one of those things where it's like it's not in the best interest of like genuinely capitalizing on specific interests of like the market unless it has to do with the stock market at this point. You need to call Clockbusters? I know, dude. My nose is fucking ridiculous right now. At least it ain't runny now. Like, ugh. That was annoying. Ooh, that felt good. Ooh, nice. Oh, that felt really good. Let's see if I can get my back a little bit here. Not as much as I thought. But one more traffic increased the value of that stock? Yes. Ironically enough, yes. But again, it's usually not in the best interest of that type of shit. It's more about like the short term immediate profit. Be damned about like what certain trends can be and whatever. Like, I mean, because if that was the case, then a lot of these businesses would like for like real estate, for example, they would capitalize on that by offering discounts to first time homeowners and shit like that, or whatever the fuck, just random little things where they can still fuck them over later, but at least cause like at least a genuine immediate sense of profit, and also have, I don't know, customers and traffic flow when it comes to their purchasing and shit. I mean, like, zero ability to think ahead. Yeah, it's just no ability to think ahead outside of money. Do I have more money than I did yesterday? Yes? Good. I don't care what else, it has to like happen to, let that be. Who gives a shit? I mean, because these motherfuckers are pretty much have already made like more likely than not 2 to 3 times, than your daily, or like your fucking yearly income and shit, in the last like couple weeks this year so far, than you would ever see. If you're poor, just get, more money. Simple as, talk. I know, right? Because it's just so simple. Simple as, I tell you what. We've got to have money. I'm thinking, this weekend I'm kind of half tempted to maybe, go busking with my hyper punk guitar right now, considering it has 2 missing strings and a weird tuning. It's in a really odd, awkward octave tuning. It's in drop D, but the B is an A, so that's in drop 2. It's a very strange tuning, but the G string and the E string are, not there, so I have to make it at least sound somewhat interesting. Go sit in front of Apple Store downtown. Yeah, just start busking in front of it, talking about how, like, we should burn down the malls, do a cover of That Song by Mojo Nixon or some shit, just do union hymns and stuff, just right in front of a fucking Apple Store. Well, I could do that to my store, too, considering how they fucked me there. But hey, I mean, it's honestly, that really isn't a bad idea. I've seen people play music there all the time, and frankly, given enough time, people might recognize me anyway, or including like, even management or some shit, if they came out wondering what the hell's going on. I'd be like, I'm just playing music, I'm busking, making a little side money. What do you want? So, especially if it was, I'd be like, I ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm being, enjoy my music. Like, I ain't bothering people. It's like, leave me alone. I'd tell her off a little bit. It's like, I wouldn't be here if you didn't fuck me over. So, piss off. I need to find like some like big and like massive insults, to say in Gaelic too. I need to learn like a Gaelic insult that like curses like her like past 8 generations and like future kin or something. I need to like learn one or something. She'd be like, "What?" I'd be like, "Yeah, how does she figure it out, that ass?" But if it was just like anybody else, I'd just be like, "Yeah, just doing this." It's like, can't be a problem if I'm doing it when I've seen people do it all the time out here. So that's what I tell them. It's like, kick rocks. I can be here. Though, to be fair, I don't even really think they give that much of a shit with people hanging out front and stuff. Because I've even seen, like, not often, but occasionally there'll be like a homeless person just kind of just sitting there outside, just sitting there, and like nothing ever really happens to them. They just, honestly, they're not bothering anyone, so it's like whatever. They can't trespass you for that reason. Yeah, you're playing music and people enjoy it. You need to get the fuck out. I mean, the thing is, like, funny enough, like, because I've been fired and shit, I don't know if that technically means I've been trespassed or not, because no one has ever enforced that, and frankly, I don't think it would anyway. I don't know, honestly, if that one. It could be, and I might not be. I'm like Schrodinger's trespass with that one. I really don't know, but I don't give a fuck. Like, what are they gonna do? Call the cops and arrest me? It's like I will just, by the time I notice that and figure that out, I'd just be gone. I'm just like, all right, back home I go. Besides, like, I generally don't know if I am or not. So if they decide to do that stupid shit, then I'd be like, I was never fucking like informed about that. So they give you opportunity to leave. Well, yeah, obviously, but it's just one of those things where I'm not really going to give a shit. So I'm just going to, at least when it comes to busking or even shopping, it's just like, hey, I got to get food somehow. It's like I ain't going to, spend a little bit more money taking, bus fare and shit to go to fucking Winco and juggle all that back. Like, with skin color as dark and anything's possible. Oh, yeah, I've seen some legit kind of like some profiling stuff that's happened before, and it's fucked. Because when it comes to like certain complexions, I've noticed there's a lot more leeway usually, especially with the cops. Granted, ours aren't gonna go immediately to beating the fuck out of you if you happen to be black, but they'll give you a lot more of a harder time. They'll be a lot more aggressive about saying, you're trespassing, don't come back, or, blah, 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 blah. Like, they're a lot more, like, intimidating when it comes to that shit. While with me, they'll be like, well, understand the rules, blah, blah, blah. They're just kind of like, try to, like, jerk my dick a little bit with it. And even then, they might give me multi-chances to be like, we came back, a week ago and, told you about this. Now, it's your final warning. They will probably do that to me. But either way, it's like I really highly doubt I am. Unless they like, caught me doing some stupid shit, which I don't know what, then or like made the excuse, of like, well, the reason for termination is because you were stealing stuff. So, it's like at this, it's like that will be our excuse. But it's like, frankly, like a lot of that shit was bullshit to begin with. And most businesses don't even consider that stealing. It's just like a part of like, free lunch as a benefit because you work there. This is so fucking stupid. Because I'll still definitely stand by that type of bullshit. Or just like, oh, wait, like, what I'm doing was literally not stealing from the fucking jump, just on the virtue of literally any other fucking place. And frankly, even other fucking grocery stores, retail, some, usually offer that type of stuff. Not like anything like insane, like, fucking gigantic feast, but like, if you want like a little something, something, as a lunch, it's on the house kind of shit. Like most places usually, operate that way because it's meant to be kind of like an incentive, and also it's going to save money a little bit. Hence why it's called a benefit. But usually that should just be a part of the perk of a job, especially in the food industry, because usually, it is like in a lot of places, just on the virtue of like, in a way, quality control too. It's like you want to kind of know what you're feeding people in a sense by, having a little bit of it, to make sure it's, like up to at least a basic standard of edibility and sellability. There's just a lot of logic and rationale, where, that tends to be the case. Not for a read on Reddit from other people that work in delis in the area. Seems like a range of rules. Well, yeah, there is. And I know like local places, definitely are going to, be different about it. And obviously with, retail, evidently, at least around here, it's a lot different. But I mean, a lot of different places, like at least restaurants are like, in the bar scene too, or, stuff like that. Like there tends to at least be different options for shit like that. Maybe not like I said, anything huge, but maybe like, hey, like I know there's a place at Kilburg that's not too far away from where I'm at, like off the trail. And I was thinking about maybe going checking that place out at some point because literally it openly states on the website like, hey, free lunch on the house. You get free burger and fries and, a drink of your choice. I'm like, oh, they literally openly advertise it. It's like, I mean, in a lot of places, that I've asked, they're like, yeah, we'll offer like, free lunch on the house. Sometimes they'll do it like once a week or, stuff like that. But there's at least some level of a perk, that's, related to that shit. Mostly in the restaurant or like, bar scene kind of stuff. But, beyond that, especially with like delis, like there's a lot more range of rules and shit. But it should still be kind of a thing, at least just on the virtue of like, quality control stuff. Like if you open up like a thing of ham, but you're not really 100% because it's like usually the water that's in the bag is kind of a little gelatinous. Take a little slice, try it just to be like, is this okay? If not, gotta distress the whole thing because obviously it's not good. But if it's still fine and for some reason, like, the water portion of like the preserves and stuff in the bag didn't go in because that does happen sometimes. And that's why it occasionally does get a little gelatinous, gross, but you just have to wipe it off and it's fine. But it's like one of those things where a quality control to make sure that it is. Because if you take a bite and realize, oh, something wrong with it, then you obviously are not going to finish it and shit, right? You're just going to fucking just toss it. And obviously that means that it's too old, can't sell, you gotta stress it. But you guys, yeah, get violent diarrhea. Yeah, exactly. But hopefully you recognize that it ain't good before that happens. Like it's just one of those things where, I mean, especially if you work in an industry long enough with something like that, like I have, you can kind of tell. Like I can even just sometimes just look at and know that it's not good. Is him that goes back just spam? Ugh. Ugh. Just the thought of that. Oh god. Oof. Yeah, sniff test is all that it takes sometimes. Yeah. Exactly. Which is why I think it's really dumb that there's like, oh, you can't, can't at least even sample your own product kind of shit. Because it's like, how, or like how you're going to make sure there's at least some basic level of quality control if you're not at least doing that occasionally. You don't do it like literally all the time, but at least, every now and then just to make sure, shit's good. Especially if you've had like a certain product that's, like it's been stored for a while and there's a chance that it might not like be good, but it's kind of like getting there. It's one of those things where it's like, all right, sell by date is like in 2 days. We've had this for like a couple weeks in the fridge. All right, well, we need to get it made up and used. We'll like probably discount a little bit, but let's at least, like once it's cooked or made up or whatever, at least taste test some of it just to make sure that's, good. Yeah. It's being like a food gatekeeper thing. Because, you don't want to have, people get sick and shit, because then the health department comes on your ass about that, and that's not good. At least around here, local news will dead ass straight up like openly do like segments, like on KGW and shit. They'll do segments about like food reviews from the health department, and we'll let you know where some places got a little bad, and we'll do like follow up cases and shit. And sometimes to be like, yeah, they improved, and blah 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 blah. Or sometimes be like, there seems to be very little improvement, but some things have been resolved, but they still got a low rating and shit. Like they will just like you kind of go savage sometimes on shit. I'm just like, damn. So, I mean, it's taken seriously, at least around here, to the point where even news gets involved just because they, just for the roasts. It's one of the few things I actually kind of like about the local news around here is they do shit like that. Also kind of lets you know about spots that are actually good. And I've had, like, they'll even let you know, be like, this place has been consistently, like, A+, and blah, 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 like, they'll let you know about, like, good quality places, too. And some of them, I'll be like, huh, never heard of them before. Maybe I'll check it out. So, it's definitely one of those things where, I kind of enjoy it. One of the few respites of Sinclair broadcast bullshit that gets fed down the throats. Gotta cut some cat mouth. Gonna get some agua. Agua fina. Boom. Yeah, I'm drinking out of this. What are you gonna do about it? Should put my coffee in there, actually. Then I'll straight up kind of look cowboyish as fuck with that. But unfortunately, I cannot say that I have coffee in there. Though I do wish there was. Honestly, like one thing I would really like to do at some point is like do a kind of like like a kind of like a rucking, kind of like do some like kind of rucksacking kind of shit. Like it just mostly by myself, unless one of my friends wants to along, because I want to bring like my firearm too, and like go out, just kind of find like a really cool little spot to kind of chill for a little bit. Then have like some targets set up one day, kind of chill for a little bit. Just kind of hang out around, obviously doing camping, and then another day, go out and do like that little range I have set up and kind of do target practice and shit out in the woods or something. Because that'd be fun. Especially if you know where to go. There's plenty of fucking places around here, especially out in the mountains where it's, you can find a perfect little spot. Honestly, what would be really fun is maybe have like a varmint rifle of some sort, and then maybe have like small game hunting license and shit. Like hunt some rabbits or some squirrels. Try out like your little stew. Make that shit. And fishing license too, just so I can even go fishing too. During like salmon spawn seasons. Get myself nice juicy salmon. Ooh, goddamn, that actually does sound pretty good as fuck. The Joe Holy is our how about a nice big old cup of shit? Yeah, I love that one. That's a good one. It's one of my favorites. I want that as like a sticker or like at least like a magnet or something. Because I know my dad's been like kind of obsessed with these magnets lately, sticking them around everywhere. I don't know why, but he has been. Because there's a bunch of them on that fridge now, and he has a shitload of them in his fucking little cave in here. It's kind of, it's like, damn, got any more magnets you need to be sticking around there, bud? Mm. Now, I actually have my little campfire kind of, or my little fire pit set up. Kind of want to, get it used up at some point. I'll have to see when it, like, next time it's going to, like, straight up start raining, because I know at some point that, it's going to happen again, but it's just been cloudy. There was like a little baby sprinkle, and it kind of got me motivated to be like, oh shit, I need to get like a lot of this firewood for my roof and shit dealt with, moved in the back. It might be a little dark, but I could probably look and check out what she would mean. Why not? Why not have a little adventure time? Bloop. Just get off the front. Be easier. Well, maybe not, because it is Bean. Goofy Bean. Oh yeah, it's kind of dark. Oh, but you know what? Lights. Oh, there we go. Oh, nope, it's raining. Well, never mind. But here, just use my hat to cover y'all. But, well, I did have this ready to go. I moved a lot of this shit over here, but, well, now it's all wet. Son of a bitch. At least I got a lot of that moved, so once it stops raining, then, hey. But since it's actually still somewhat lit, I can go this way. That's all hell. Oh, this one will require flashlight status. Flashlight status. Boom. And this is the pile of bullshit that I was trimming with my trees. All that shit. Which, it's all over that bitch. So that's all cleared out and everything. And hella trimmed too. And trimmed a lot of that shit down. And there's still like a little pile over here as well. And yeah, well, that's sucker for a while. Yeah, what's up, Zuzu? Oh, look at those little eyes. Oh my goodness, Angel. Here's a little bang. There we go. All right, get back in here. It is cold as hell out there. Ay, ay, ay. There we go. Today on the Portland Health Review, we're going to be discussing the shutdown of Safely, who is being shut down due to numerous violations. One local says that's why you should not fire you. Oh, damn. Damn. Facts. Touch and follows. The field trip has been postponed until further notice due to rain. Well, nah. Field trip still happened. I decided to put some covering. Some coverings going on that shit. But I was hoping that it wasn't going to happen today. I should have checked the weather, but what you going to do? Ugh. Oh, brother. Ah, warm me up, Peter. Yes, yes, yes. I'm moving this closer to me. I need this. It got cold out there. It was actually kind of nice, earlier. But I ended up being kind of sweating a little bit. Took this off and this off. I was like, damn. It's kind of getting a little warm. I'm moving everything around and shit. And now I'm just like, fuck. It dropped. So I'm just like, bleh. We can watch videos instead. Hi, I'm Dennis Prager. I am Dennis Prager. No! How did I let's try to do my Dennis Prager voice? I am Dennis Prager. It just sounds more like a transatlantic version of my voice. I just realized he does kind of have like an like OG transatlantic kind of voice a little bit, but it's just a lot more slower and more monotone. Sometimes he gets a little excited, but not that much. So, I mean, he kind of does, honestly. He's like one of the few people that still like, hold to that like transatlantic style, like, shit, but it's just slow and more monotone. It's not like the transatlantic times of the 50s. All right? There was a lot of expression, but you can still understand every syllable. Mostly because we were all on coke. Oh my goodness. Is there anyone else that still kind of holds to like, that transatlantic kind of accent? Because that's not really like fallen out. Like even like on the news, it's kind of more of just a generic, like, I don't know, like a generic American corporate, I guess. I guess that's just like an upgrade of the transatlantic, now, but it's not the same as like traditional like transatlantic accents. So, Because the only one I could think of would be this, and even then, it's I guess Ben Shapiro a little bit. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he still kind of has it a little bit. Not really, but it comes out occasionally. Like when he's not like getting expressive and shit, and then his like weird like teenage like giggly like kind of like part comes out, because he does kind of get it like that occasionally. But like when he's just kind of being like monotone, just kind of talking his bullshit or whatever on the Daily Wire or whatever, it kind of comes out a little bit, but it's way more subtle. It's a lot more subtle. Bill Maher. Nah, it's more like posh, like American posh. Not like British posh, but like American posh. Like, oh yes, I'm just better than you. Oh, please. You can't tell me you just support Hamas. Yes. I mean, come on. The kids, they are just terror-supporting freaks. Don't they know that they would be pushed off of bridges, and stuff, or buildings, from Hamas? Like, it's more posh. I guess there's like a hint of it, but it's more of just like, I'm just better than you accent, American posh, more than that, really. I guess it kind of comes out a little bit, sometimes, but not really that much. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, but he just has too much of just like, American posh. I'm just a nice, good, wine-drinking liberal. Yes. It's just, I don't know. It's not exactly the same. You do. What you doing over there? Goofy Bane? He's just staring at the door. I don't know exactly what he wants us to do. Oh, he's looking at me. He's doing a little quick scritch. Scritch. He's scritchy boy. Goofy little Bane. A goofy little bit indeed. Boom. Oh, the Lefty Mafia. Oh, the Lefty. Jesus Christ. The Leftist Mafia went live. Got a notification from the news report. It was TOT goes full Fox News. Home and progressives blame homeless people. What? Again, what the fuck is with them and just like fucking on homeless people? Those elitist fucks. Like, Jesus Christ. Man, I'm so glad I don't watch that fucking shit anymore. Especially because of Anna. Like, fuck her, dude. Like, aye. She's just fucking beyond absurd and ridiculous. That's as bad as a meatball. I bet they're gonna be blaming homeless people, you know, for the wildfires, I'm assuming. I'm just gonna take a wild guess. Which, I mean, to me, I'm just sitting there like, how, what? In what fucking world? It's like, give me a break. Bill in 1800s. We gave, well, I'm not repeating that part. We have been given, these neighbors, I'll just say that, whatever, identified positions as our servants. Why do they complain so much? Sometimes I might let them, beyond the in their own quarters. Well, they have to, obviously play by the rules, but why do they get so mad? A water burp. Man, Bill Maher is just a fucking freak, dude. What's just with a lot of these like old boomer ass fucks that have too much money, then they know what to do with themselves, and just straight up do like this absurd fucking weird shift from what they used to be and shit. It kind of like, honestly makes me kind of glad that, Carlin don't gotta live to see this kind of shit, or, fucking Hicks and stuff, because I imagine that, they would just be going exceptionally hard on this type of shit, and for good reason, but that's why we got at least Jon Stewart, too. I love his, like, whole fucking little bit about, like, a lot of these conservatives get freaking out over the fact that there's, like, lesbian firefighters and shit, and it was just like, yeah, there's all sorts of different factors, like when it comes to, like a lot of, drought, a lot of, dryness in the air, and the fucking Santa Ana winds and this and that. But oh no, it's the lesbians. He literally just starts doing that. It's like, dude, I mean, yeah, because out of all these fucking issues, it's the damn lesbians. I mean, negro is Spanish for black, but I wouldn't roll that pair of dice either. Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, if you actually pronounce it with the Spanish pronunciation, then obviously, then you're just speaking Spanish. So it's different than versus, the American way of saying it. Besides, in that context, you're just, saying, black and Spanish. So, like, obviously, at least in that case, it's, like color. Like, if you were to, like, get, colored pencils, but, they're, like, a lot of times you'll find, that it is, on there. At least for, black. Like, it'll be, like, black, and then at least from what I remember, then it'll, like, when I was, like, in, like, fucking art classes and shit, and then it'll have, negro, then it'll be, like, a French word for black, too. Like, so usually it would have, like, different, translations on it. Sweet. Lesbian Firefighters should be a band name. That should be a band name, actually. That would be pretty badass, actually. It should definitely at least be punk. There's something about that just screams like that would be totally be a straight up punk band. And I would absolutely be, here for it. This fucking problem is like, Okay, there we go. I think that helps a little bit. There we go. Okay, it didn't really help that much. I'm gonna have to kind of tinker fuck with this thing a little bit later. Boo! I don't want to be tinker fucking with things. Ugh. Yep, what time is it right now anyway? Oh, it's only 5:40. It's not even that late. Well, that helped. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to take a fucker with that stupid thing. Boo. Lame. Fucking lame. Ugh, man. I'm thinking about what should I snag for some food. Feeling a little nippy. What do I want? Because I could just make something up here, but I also need to kind of grab a couple things. At least got, a couple bucks that I can snag a little bit. A little something, something. I need to get some baked bits and then some pasta, which that ain't going to cost much at all, so. Wait, 2 Girls, 1 Hose. That's an album. Slash, also a name of a song. Band should still be called Lesbian Firefighters, but that should be at least one of the albums and a song. That definitely, I think that's how that should roll. Because also there could be a self-titled album with Lesbian Firefighters. That'll be the EP. Then the second album will be 2 Girls, 1 Hose. You know what disappointed me recently? Red Velvet Reese's Cups. Red Velvet Reese's Cups. Well, I would say that would either be really good or obviously disappointing. And if it's disappointing, then I'm probably not going to like it myself. As much as I want it to be the case. Okay, this thing's gonna take a fuck down. Let's drop me that. Boo. There we go. Alright, and you get out, you piece of shit. And you get tinker fucked. Oops. Well, that's why it wants to fucking pop out for some reason. Yeah. Pop you out a little bit and put you in there. There we go. I think that should get your ass in there. Let me do this. Aye. Okay, I think I tinker fucker to fit. There we go. It's just this Reese's, but pink on top. Also for some kind of cream cheese frosting flavor, but it's just regular Reese's, which is fine. But it's more of a novelty than anything else. Oh, so it's just regular Reese's? Okay, well, at that point, I just get regular Reese's. It's it's got a little bit of red frosting or something on the top. It's man, I was hoping maybe it'd actually be legit different. But guess it wouldn't be a Reese's, so we have to keep it the same, basically. Man, the lack of creativity, dude. What the fuck? Disappointed. Disappointment is immeasurable. There we go. Good old welcome. I'm gonna have to see what one of my friends is doing tonight too, actually, because I want to swing by that Wichita too to follow up about my app over there and shit. Definitely want to figure that out too, because I just kind of remember that. I was going to yesterday, but because they wouldn't let my my buddy Brian in, just because of his stupid fucking paper ID, it was just like, well, couldn't really follow up with that, and plus it just wouldn't really look good, for me to go back and just do that, whatever. It's just like follow up after that immediately. So I was like, well, just do it another day, because that was definitely annoying, but whatever. I guess it's just like what you're gonna do with that, because rules are rules, I suppose. She wasn't like a dick about it, so not a big deal to me. But at least tonight somebody else will be there, so I can always go over there and see what anyone else is doing. And after that, maybe play some rounds of pool or some shit. Because I have been kind of feeling a little bit of an itch for pool. Just a little bit, but I want to just grab myself a snack first. Get myself some food. So I haven't decided what I want to whip up yet, though. Because there's a few things I can kind of whip up, and I'm just like, what do I want? I kind of hate when you have like a few different options that you can kind of cycle through, and they're all like bangers, but it's like, it's like they all aren't hard to make at all. It's like basically the same time regardless. So it's like, well, what sounds easy? But all of them are. And it's like, well, like what do I got? Pretty much everything for it. So maybe like one or two little things, to add a little extra pop. But it's like, fuck. Got dates. Dates sound pretty good actually, but I alas do not have dates. Nor, money for dates. Wish I did though, because dates are good. I think I'll just kind of make my typical little dish of rice and some cream and bacon, because I have this bad boy right here, but I'm just like, I know there's not enough bacon in this son of a bitch. I know I don't have enough bacon bits, to kind of fill up the rest, so definitely want to at least get more of that. I know there's like one other thing I kind of want to snack, but I'm just kind of figuring out what. I literally just forgot now that my hat's on my head. Well, hey, at least I just realized, hey, at least you realize it's just on your head. Oh shit, where's my hat? It's just like, feels the head. It's like, oh, it's right there. I've done that a few times. I've even been like, where the fuck's my phone? I realize I'm either holding on to it or it's just in my pocket. And I'm just like, wait, where'd it go? And I'll be like, oh, my stoner ass. Because I'll just be sitting here just like, you're just kind of like loading up a thing, like, kind of like I'm holding on to it, but having to sit right here, low and bowl, whatever. I'm just like, and I'll be like, wait, where the fuck did it go? And I'll like look around for a minute, not realize it's just kind of chilling right there, and I'm like, oh, it's right there, right in front of me. Luckily, that's only happened like once or twice. Got a bag of dates from the dollar store. Oh, there is one near me. But it's not $1 no more. They bumped it up $1.25, so it's like false advertising. It's bullshit. It's a bunch of shite, I tell you. That's what happens when we just let things slide and just let them take these things from us. That's what happens. Even dollar store, Dollar General, and all that shit, they're no longer a buck. It ends up being $1.25. Next, they're gonna make it $1.75. Then it's gonna be $2.50. Yeah, somewhere around here. Because I think that was like a whole national thing that they did. It wasn't just like, for, like a regional area or anything. It was like, across the board, basically. Ugh. That's all. Yeah. Which, still, it's a bunch of bullshit. Because it's just another example, like I said, of what they've taken from us. I know we're not quite ready for the, torches and pitchforks and shit, but as a sense it, there's a sensations in the works. I tell you what. Be like Arizona Tea or Costco too. Like, those are like the two CEOs that are just like, I wonder why all of them are just so freaked out and scared. It's very interesting. Because, it's like, we're millionaires and shit, but yet everyone loves us. Well, I wonder what the issue here is. At least when he was alive, Bob, too, from Bob's Red Mill. Because that guy was also, pretty legit, too. Because he had, because of, Bob's Red Mill and shit with, with their other company and stuff. Being employee owned as well. So, another example of it. Here's your good membership there. That's what I was thinking about too myself. And once I actually have a means to, eventually get a car or something like that for myself and shit, maybe even, a good job over there too. Because I heard there's a lot of satisfaction of people working over there as well. And I know a few people that I used to work with that I got a job over there because it was just, better. So, I wouldn't necessarily mind that. If I wanted to really get back into retail, but like I said, in the past, I'm kind of done with that. At least for a while. Ugh, that's spicy meat butter. But anyway. Gotta get myself some food. Probably come back a little bit later tonight. And all that fun shit. But at least for now, get some food. Think about it, at least, kind of follow some stuff and kind of see where the night leads from there. So, peace. Peace out for now. And be back around next lesson.